Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, what do Angel Reese and Michael Jordan have in common?
Also, Mavericks, what are you doing, baby?
All that and more on the way next. Notice anything different around here?
There might be something different.
The speaker just told us so. That it's RadioU Mornings with Hudson and Allie. Today, the first ever day of RadioU Mornings with Hudson and Allie. A name change that's been a long time coming, would you say?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, it just makes sense that Allie does so much around here that her name should be in the show too. And we can't leave me out, and we can't leave RadioU out, and it's also morning time.
Yeah, it's the epitome of everything the show is all about.
Yeah, it doesn't, like we have to acknowledge it, but also like really not that much is changing though.
No.
Like I don't want to like parade. Normally I love parading around. I don't want to parade around today and be like, it's a new show name, because nothing else. If you just cut out all the references to the show name, everything will sound basically the same.
Yeah, nothing will change.
But the name of the show had to change.
Yeah.
It was time. It was well past time. And now here we are on RadioU Mornings with Hudson and Allie. How was your weekend?
It was an interesting weekend. I was sick most of the weekend. I'm still getting over that right now, so still not feeling amazing. But
You sound a little stuffy.
Yeah, a little stuffed up. So just a head cold, nothing crazy, nothing like, no, I was worried because a lot of stuff is going around. I have some family members that have strep throat, some friends that have strep throat, and I'm like, am I getting that?
People were talking about the flu too when you were out on Friday.
Yeah, so thankfully did take some testing, so I'm fine. I don't have COVID, don't have the flu. So it's just a head cold with lots of sinus pressure and all of that fun stuff that comes along with that. Do
you blame me for getting you sick?
No, because again, I feel like so much is going around.
Yeah.
It's really hard to pin it back to a person. Now, when I first did get sick, which was Thursday, I was like, did Hudson give me what he had? Because you had been coughing for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can really pinpoint it back to you, because I've been around so many people that have been sick.
Well, I'm blaming myself. Because especially because it sounds like exactly what you have is what I had, where it was like your head, like you just will get like lots of pressure built up.
Yeah.
And then like it just went through phases where like a couple days it was a coughing phase, a couple days it was a pressure all in your head. And then like once that started to clear out, but then like you would get drainage, like your nose would just be, I would be over here with a Kleenex the whole morning.
Yep.
But to me, it was never bad enough, especially like if I took enough medicine, it wasn't bad enough that I would feel like I couldn't work. I was concerned about giving other people sickness, but I tried wiping things down or whatever. But I guess when we stand across from each other for so long, there's only so much you can do.
Right.
But yeah, it was an inconvenience, and I was the worst kind of sick where it's like I'm almost sick enough that I don't want to work.
Yeah.
But I'm not sick enough that I don't want to work. So instead, I'll just work and be miserable at the same time. And then too, if I was to take a day off, I don't know which day it would have been, and I couldn't have taken more than one day off for that sickness, right?
I guess not. I mean, I feel like I stayed home most of the weekend because I was down for the count. I was telling people like I haven't felt this sick in a while.
Wow.
So and I just was sick back over Christmas. So I'm like, I'm shocked that I got sick again this quickly. But like I said, so much is going around right now. Who knows where this crap's coming from?
All right. Well, I'll blame myself no matter what you say. But, I think if the new normal for me is 2 sicknesses every fall, winter. And so I've done those because it was Thanksgiving and then just now. And so I'm free until November.
Usually I'm not sick. Usually I'm sick one time per year. And I've been sick already 3 times in like the past, I don't even know, like 4 months.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. What's going on?
I don't know. I think you're becoming weaker. This is the only explanation. It's time for our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. Of course, let us know what you've seen recently at 8772 Radio U. Leave a review for what you've seen as of late. Allie, you were out on Friday, so you might have missed this. But this was new release weekend for Dog Man.
Okay.
Which easily scampered to the top of the box office this weekend. $36 million in North America. When you combine that with about $4 million that it made overseas, which is surprisingly low, it is already broken even with its budget. So Dogman, it's going to be well profitable and I guess a big success for DreamWorks.
That's great.
If anyone saw Dogman, let us know at 8772 Radio U. Now, you may have been more aware of this one, Allie, and that's Companion.
Yep.
Do you think it's fair to compare that to Megan?
Yeah, I think that's a fair comparison of it's a Android AI type of film. So I'm excited to see this one. I've heard some good reviews from it so far.
It had immaculate reviews when we did it in the box office or the weekend watch list on Friday. However, it did not make Megan numbers over the weekend. Only $9.5 million in North America, but movies like that, that's okay for them.
Yeah, they don't usually have super big budgets, so they don't have to make as much money to break even or, create a profit for themselves. So.
And so, yes, if you saw Companion, let us know at 8772 Radio U. We don't need to spend much more time on Mufasa, but that was number 3 with another $6 million. By the way, Dogman, do you care? The Dogman has the biggest opening weekend of all January this year.
Okay.
And the second biggest January opening ever for an animated movie.
January just isn't a good month for
Not a
films.
good month. But it was a good month for Dogman.
Yep.
In the literally one January day that it was in theaters. Allie, what have you seen lately?
So over the weekend, as I mentioned earlier, I was sick, so I actually did stay home and watch a lot of stuff on the television. Finally finished Only Murders in the Building season 4. Ends on a pretty fun cliffhanger, so I'm excited for the next season of that. It was a great season, laughed all the way through it.
Yeah.
And I'll probably end up rewatching it just because there's so much fun stuff. But I will say my favorite thing that I watched over the weekend was actually a horror movie that came out in 2023. I hadn't seen it yet. It's called Strange Darling, and it is one of those films that uses unconventional storytelling. And I don't want to spoil anything, but you think you know who you're following and who the bad guy is. And then halfway or about 2/3 through the movie, you're like, oh no, I have been cheering for the wrong person the entire time.
That I love when they do that to you.
It was so good.
It shows how easily we can all be manipulated. Regina says she just rewatched Miss Congeniality this weekend.
Oh, such a good movie. Sandra Bullock. I love that movie.
Brandon says he's excited for Scream 7. I, over the weekend, so I'm one episode behind on Severance, but I finished the first season. And me and my wife disagree about this, but Severance, the first season ends so perfectly. And you think they did this back in 2022. They could have left it there. And for 3 years, it was like Severance is over, but it was a completely contained thing. And at least based off of the first 2 episodes, they somehow found a way to pick it up and make it like, well, this is how it ended, but we found a way to actually, in a believable way, make it continue on. So I don't feel like the rug was pulled out or anything, but also if I just stopped watching at the end of season 1, that would have been very satisfying. What better way to usher in the Hudson and Allie era than with a review of Wicked?
Yeah.
It feels like this really sums up our show well. Musical numbers and Oscar nominations all in one. So I finally watched Wicked over the weekend only because it was nominated for not just Best Picture, but numerous other Oscar awards. And so here's what I don't want to do is come on here after it made bajillions of dollars and people loved the movie and critics loved the movie and come here and just complain about it.
Okay.
So
good.
I went in going like, okay, you're going to hate the music, but try to find things you like about it.
Okay.
That's what Regina said to do. Regina, when I said I was going to watch it this weekend, she said when she texted in, she said, hopefully you can find some things to enjoy about it. It is very visually stunning, which is true.
Yes.
It is very visually stunning.
Yep.
And I like that about it. Something I also liked, despite the musical numbers being just difficult to sit through, is the choreography. Like, it is very impressively shot and directed and coordinated, and that is pretty amazing. Let me get to my top criticism of the movie.
Okay.
That it's 3 hours long and it's not even the whole story. which is kind of fun for Dune, although I hated when Dune cut off at the end of the first one because it's like that's not a whole story either to me.
Yeah.
But at least I enjoyed the whole 3 hours and felt like they were worthwhile.
Okay.
I kid you not, in Wicked, when we got to the scene where, and I guess, spoiler, there's a scene where Elphaba starts dancing like with no music or whatever.
Yes.
And that's like what, an hour and 20 into the movie? It's literally halfway through.
Halfway through, yeah.
After that scene, I'm like, okay, a lot of this stuff feels like it's actually worthwhile. The first hour and 20 minutes of the movie, I was like, what is the point of all this? There could have been a montage. That could have been cut down to like 20 minutes and saved. Like, how long is the play?
The play is probably about 3 hours long.
So how do they make it longer?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like there was anything when I watched the film that I'm like, yep, they could have cut that out. Why was that so long? So I disagree.
I don't know. I just feel like they wanted to have a lot of songs and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. The hour and 20, I can't sit there and say like, well, this is the thing that was unnecessary. But all of a sudden I'm up and I'm like, well, they haven't even like reconciled yet, which we all knew was coming.
Yeah.
And somehow we're an hour 20 in. So we've just been like, I just don't understand where all that time went. I also, what I don't like, and this is not Wicked's fault, or at least not the movie's fault, but I don't like how it makes the wizard the bad guy and the witch the good guy.
Well, that's the whole point of the story.
And it's not even fully explained. And now I guess I'm to surmise that the girl in the wheelchair, Elphaba's sister,
Nessa Rose.
She's the one that gets crushed by a house, right?
Well, don't give it away
And
for those that don't know.
That turns Elphaba actually evil? Or like what? Also, if she loves animals in the movie, why is she so concerned with Dorothy's dog in The Wizard of Oz?
I mean, you're just going to have to find out. You're going to have to watch part 2.
Only if it gets nominated for Oscars. Because I sat there and tried to find things to enjoy. And like, I've watched worse movies. I probably haven't sat through many worse movies that were that long that I committed to sitting through that I didn't enjoy.
So can I ask you a question, Hudson?
Yeah.
Are you loathing Wicked?
Is that like a joke or something?
You just watched the movie, Hudson.
Yeah, right.
It's like loathing. You don't remember that
I don't
song?
know. I don't really. The songs do not resonate with me. I legitimately do not like Defying Gravity.
What?
And I don't like that.
Oh my gosh, you're crazy.
And I don't sympathize with Elphaba, I think is the problem. Like, I don't find her sympathetic at all.
I'm sorry to let you know, but everybody else pretty much does.
Yeah, I don't get it. Now, over the weekend was Groundhog Day. And if you're wondering, Punxsutawney Phil did predict 6 more weeks of winter. He saw his shadow. That means 6 more weeks of winter. Of course, we covered this last week that Punxsutawney Phil, historically inaccurate.
Only 35% of the time does he get it right.
Meanwhile, Staten Island Chuck gets it right 80% of the time, and he predicted the opposite. So who are you going to follow? Who are you going to trust?
Definitely Staten Island Chuck.
Especially when he says that means 6 more or early spring.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Into it. Now, prior to actual Groundhog Day taking place, there's some controversy revolving around PETA trying to get involved.
Okay.
They of course want Punxsutawney Phil liberated of his prison in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and instead to be set free and replaced. They want to replace Punxsutawney Phil. Their suggestion was a vegan weather reveal cake.
Oh my goodness.
Similar to, I guess, what you might have at a gender reveal party for a baby. You would cut into it. And that would tell you if it was going to be early spring or winter. I mean, it couldn't be less accurate than Punxsutawney Phil.
That's true. Apparently what they are saying is that instead of the, reveal being Punxsutawney Phil and him trying to see his shadow or not, it would be, you would cut into this cake, and if it has a blue filling, cold weather is expected to continue. Or if it has pink filling,
it's a girl.
I know. I'm like, this is literally just a gender reveal cake.
You could have picked other colors.
Right. Why blue? Could it be green and yellow or something? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I was like, that's literally just a gender reveal cake.
PETA with the, creative solutions, but even this feels a little not as creative. And then, of course, they want Punxsutawney Phil relocated to a reputable sanctuary, even though, and I know we'd absolutely have mixed feelings about animals in captivity, I think, here on the Hudson Show. But like Punxsutawney Phil routinely lives longer than groundhogs that would be out in the wild.
Yeah, I don't, and we did talk about this last week of like, zoos and all of that fun stuff, and that is a very complicated topic, so I don't want to come across as being like, yep, this is the end all be all, there's one right answer and one wrong answer. But yeah, I would agree. I feel like there's no reason to believe that this groundhog is being, mishandled or his life is being hurt in some way by being Punxsutawney Phil.
He is probably one of the happiest groundhogs there is.
He's certainly the fluffiest.
He's a star. He gets constant attention, which I'm sure he loves.
Yeah.
Don't you think he's eating probably better than any groundhog out in the wild?
He's a fluffy boy. He's a big guy.
And best of all, he doesn't have to worry about being hit by a car.
Yeah.
So I think he's got it pretty good. And has anybody stepped in to question what Punxsutawney Phil wants? Because I'm really not sure that he'd want to be replaced by a cake.
Yeah.
How would you feel if your job got replaced by a cake?
Not very good.
Not good.
Not good. I mean, it would be a very uninteresting show if you were just talking to a cake over here.
Exactly. If it was the Hudson and Cake Show, I don't think anybody wants that.
No.
Although it was that way for a while. And many of us woke up on Sunday morning to an alert on our phones that seemed fake. In the NBA, it said that the Dallas Mavericks had traded Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, and there was another cast of characters involved that went between the two teams and also involved the Utah Jazz. But the headline is Luka for Anthony Davis. Allie, what do you make of that?
That was definitely not on my 2025 bingo card. I was not expecting a huge blockbuster trade like this, especially for... I could definitely see the Lakers trading away Anthony Davis. I felt like that was kind of one of their only leverage points because they've traded away a lot of their first round picks when they were bringing in Anthony Davis and when they brought in Russell Westbrook a few years back, which was a horrible decision. But anyways, so they were kind of in a bad place if they wanted to add a big player. So I felt like the only really leverage item they had was someone like AD or maybe an Austin Reeves. But obviously Austin Reeves is not as valuable as Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So I definitely didn't see this coming. And again, the Mavericks trading away their franchise piece in Luka Doncic it's crazy to me. I cannot believe that they did this.
Yeah, it was believable that the Lakers traded away Anthony Davis. It was unbelievable because they're not only is Luka Doncic like the kind of guy you build an entire team around that can almost single-handedly in a way get you to a finals like he did last year. Granted, they played great defense outside of him. They had Kyrie as another scoring option, but generally they don't make the finals, of course, without him.
No.
So the idea that and it had not been talked about at all. There was no rumors swirling. So this just came out of absolutely nowhere. It makes sense in some ways for both teams because the Lakers, as they are presently constituted, they're built around LeBron and AD, but that was good enough to win them a championship during COVID. It's not anymore. And Anthony Davis doesn't feel like the kind of player that you can he's getting to the other edge of his prime now. Yeah. He often is injury plagued or doesn't want to play through injuries, whatever it is. And so they had to readjust everything. And so now they have a player that they can build around for the future long term.
For sure.
Apparently the Mavericks were unhappy after they changed ownership. Many people don't even probably realize that Mark Cuban isn't their full owner anymore.
Yep.
They were unhappy with Luka's conditioning and he's been out since Christmas, right? He hasn't played.
Yeah.
So they feel like this is better for them in the short term where they can actually I don't think they can win a championship with Anthony Davis and Kyrie, But in the West, they can compete and get pretty far.
They got
And
Klay Thompson as well now.
Yeah, so at least they can stay relevant even if Luka's not going to show up.
For sure. They're not going to become a team that's like suddenly terrible. But yeah, this is a shocking move by them. I really cannot. I mean, I've watched the NBA for years. I cannot believe that they did this. And again, teams trade away stars all the time. There were other stars that were traded away this weekend. But this is just, it's suddenly taking a franchise that felt like it had a route to making its way to winning an NBA Finals again to a team where you're just like, what are you doing? And they're just changing their whole formula. Literally, the GM said they are molding the Mavericks towards a more defensive team than an offensive one, which, yeah, sure, if you're removing a player that averages 28 points per game, yes, you're definitely going for a more defensive route than offensive.
Yeah, which is really, a combo of Luka being amazing and then the rest of the team being great at defense is what got them to the finals last year. But like, you're definitely taking an offensive step backwards with AD stepping in instead of Luka, apparently, assuming that he's always going to be healthy, of course. And like, I feel like that's not quite good. Like, you need another offensive piece to be able to counteract what you've lost with Luka to actually compete for a championship. Although just their defense alone and Anthony Davis and Kyrie and whatever scoring wise should be good enough to get them very far in the playoffs, to at least give them a shot in any series.
Potentially, but sometimes I just don't know if Kyrie has been that bucket getter sometimes, and maybe he will become more of that now that Luka's gone, but it just feels like they lost that person that you would just give the ball to, because Luka had those moments. You would just give him the ball and you knew he would get you a bucket.
Meanwhile, now the Lakers have two of those guys, but absolutely no defense whatsoever. So counterintuitively, a team with LeBron and Luka probably doesn't, at least this year, unless they make a bunch of moves, have a great NBA championship chance, as fun as that would be.
Yeah.
For some of us, anyway. You know, one of the things that must be tough about being a drug kingpin is like how many people you have to have around you that you can trust. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, sure.
You don't know anybody around you. Not only could they double cross you, but also, like, just through their own carelessness, they could get you caught and have your entire drug business brought down. This is exactly what happened to Luis Manuel Picago Griaba, who is a Central American drug kingpin. For some reason, for short, they call him Shock. What is this? Regular name too long or something? I don't know. Hard to pronounce. He was just brought down because, and this is a lesson that also we can all learn, because he was on vacation with his wife and family in Europe. And while he was on vacation in Europe, his wife was posting on her Instagram account, which has since been deleted, photos from their trip in Europe at like the Eiffel Tower and everything. And because she was posting pictures as they went along in Europe, that allowed the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, to be able to track and find out exactly where he was and, of course, catch him and now force him to face a trial for all of his many drug-related crimes. And it's all because his wife wouldn't stop posting vacation pics on Instagram.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that's what you get for breaking the law, first of all. Obviously, they're going to come after you in any way they can. The authorities are going to leverage what they can. And in this situation, it was social media posts.
Yeah. They, which obviously shows the impressive lengths that they actually, I mean, is that really impressive that they were scrolling Instagram and whatever? But
I mean, I would imagine if they know who this drug kingpin is, they're going to keep tabs on his family on social media.
They've been keeping tabs, and I love that that's somebody's job in the DEA. It's just like, hey, can you just watch her Instagram and all? Just have this as your feed. But that's probably for many people, that's what they do. That's what they do. Their whole job is just scrolling Instagram all day, trying to catch drug kingpins. And so they are able to bring this guy down. But don't you see the lesson that can be learned here for all of us, right? Whether we're criminals or not. And that is, you shouldn't be posting live like as you go along while you're on vacation, because it could be telling the DEA that where you are so that they can track you down and hold you to account for your drug-related crimes. Or it just could be showing to criminals the two criminals that follow you on Instagram, oh, they are in Europe right now. That means they're not at home. Let me go and burgle their house.
Right. Police departments have been sharing that type of information on their social media for years now, telling people to be so careful with what they post on social media. And I feel like there's articles coming out left and right all the time of like, here's another instance of somebody posting something about their vacation and then their house was robbed, So it's just like, don't be very careful with what you share on social media. To me, it's all about privacy settings, especially. But yeah, if I'm on vacation, I'm not posting about it either at all or until I get home. I know some people you're just eager beavers and you can't wait to get the attention and you can't wait to show off your wealth and, the fancy fun things you get to do. But the best practice is, especially the more wealthy you are, is to just hold off, do what I do. At Rise and Road Trip on Instagram and YouTube and whatever, is hold off on posting any of your content for like 6 months. We're going to need a verdict on this one. 8772 Radio U. Get ready to share your thoughts on this legal matter where we have a lawsuit against the Western Oregon University women's basketball program. Former players from the team have filed a $28.2 million lawsuit against their former coaches and the school, alleging abusive treatment. The suit claims that head coach at the time, Jessica Petras, and assistant DJ Marlowe forced players into extreme conditioning, as in workouts that led to vomiting and dehydration. Ooh. Which is based off of that, that happens in Disney movies about sports. So is that bad? But then it goes on to say guard Anna McClave says that she was made to practice despite not yet being medically cleared from a knee injury. She still had to participate in preseason workouts. And Jody Noyes alleges that Coach Petras mocked her for taking antidepressants, calling her, quote, Eeyore. Don't laugh at that. That's not funny. No.
It's not funny to call somebody Eeyore for taking
horrible.
antidepressants. Coach Petras also reportedly accused a player of assault and called the police, though footage contradicted her claim. So, based off of this information, of course, the school is pushing back against all these allegations, saying that they're unfounded. Of course, did the coaching staff cross the line, or is this just tough coaching? Should these players be awarded their $28.2 million lawsuit?
Ugh.
We need a verdict in this. You be the judge. 8772 Radio U.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I will also note that they have already canceled the remainder of the games on the schedule, citing internal team challenges.
I'll say so.
Yeah.
I would say so. They are also pushing for, in addition to the players that are suing, in addition to suing for the $28.2 million, they also want additional reforms at Western Oregon, including anti-abuse and anti-harassment training and the appointment of an independent monitor to prevent a similar situation from unfolding. 8772 Radio U, what do you think? Should these players win their lawsuit and their $28.2 million? Or is the school getting a bad rap and the coaches getting a bad rap for nothing? We have Trevor who says, conditioning is a part of sports, but making players vomit and practice through injuries isn't grit. It's reckless. This wasn't coaching. It was out of control. That's according to Trevor. Somebody else says, bad coaching? Yes, but is it criminal behavior? That's debatable. The demands for millions might overshadow the legitimate issues at hand here. Allie, where do you stand?
Well, we also did hear from Regina. She said she's no expert, but conditioning to the point of vomiting certainly doesn't sound healthy and is absolutely not okay to make fun of someone for taking antidepressants. To me, that is more the sign of there's something wrong going on here. Also, the whole what looked to be like a false police report filing from the head coach who said that one of her players elbowed her. And then when they actually looked at the footage, it was completely opposite. And the police actually considered, charging the head coach with a false falsifying a police report, but then they realized she hadn't even pressed charges yet. So it was all just a mess. But so, yeah, it just seems like a really rough situation. I understand why they canceled the rest of their season, because even if the coaches are found to be not like as abusive as the, players claim, it doesn't seem like they have very good decision-making skills here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I'm on the side of the players. I don't know if I'm on the side of them to win $28 million for this, but I think I'm on the side of the players in that these coaches don't seem to be very good at their job.
So I agree with whoever said that, they $28.2 million seems excessive.
Yeah.
Most of this stuff, these are the worst things they could come up with, right?
Yeah.
Like these are the worst allegations that they thought they could actually make true in court. And it all, besides, like the Eeyore thing is bad, but even that, like how much should you get if somebody insults you like that?
Right.
How much should you get $28.2 million? So all this stuff is just like, it's bad, but it just means that the coaches should probably be fired.
Yeah.
And they're bad at their job.
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily mean that I don't know that anybody should be awarded any money for any of this.
Right.
If this was, possibly a bigger program too, you'd just be like, well, I'm transferring out of this school, and all of a sudden all your players would leave and you wouldn't have a program.
Yep.
So $28.2 million seems excessive to say the least, but you can't there's enough players here saying enough things that it doesn't seem like this is just all made up and nonsense, and the coach is actually really good and really nice, and she sounds like a Karen.
Yeah.
Doesn't she sound like a Karen? She's elbowing one of her players and then claiming that player elbowed them. That's a total Karen move.
Yeah, it's a little odd for sure. I don't know if I would label her a Karen or more of just like she's just a bad coach,
Yeah.
And we've heard about stuff like this all the time from people that played high school football and all sorts of different sports where coaches were just way too extreme. They were almost just took it to an extreme. So this is nothing new, unfortunately, in athletics.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know what the verdict is that's in between.
Yeah. It's like we want the coach to be gone. Yeah. But we really don't think these players should be awarded $28 million for this.
I'll award them $28.
$28.
Maybe $280 if they're lucky. Welcome to our very first food fight as RadioU Mornings with Hudson and Allie. New nomenclature, same great taste. Hopefully, anyways. We have today the new Skyline Chili Graters ice cream. This is literally Skyline Chili, a notable Cincinnati-style chili-based restaurant. And so they've donated their secret spice mixture to Graters, a Cincinnati-based ice cream company, and also some oyster crackers, and put it in there. They don't prominently feature on the packaging that there's chili. They prominently feature that it has oyster crackers.
Yeah.
That's questionable to me. And then also, if you look, Graters since 1870. You notice that, Allie? In 155 years, you start to have to go with some crazy ideas because they've made all the normal ice creams.
That's true.
You got to reinvent yourself.
That's true. All right. Are you going to try it first?
No, go. I want to. Fine, I'll go first. I'll go first.
I thought you have typically been the one to try it first.
It's a huge oyster cracker.
Oh, boy.
Like, it's not little bits. It's prominently featured in there. Wow.
Oh.
But it actually really works.
It's interesting. I'll say that.
It's better than it has any business being, isn't it?
I mean, it's not bad. And I think we both said that there's no way that it's going to be bad. It's ice cream made by Graters. But I have to be honest, Hudson, I would not choose to eat this in any other setting other than a food fight.
So this pint is going to go to waste, eh?
No, you can have it. You and
I
Nene
can't eat a whole thing by myself. I can't eat this whole thing by myself.
No, Nene can join in. Some of the other staff here at Radio U.
Michael, the sledgehammer, will definitely try this.
Sure.
I'm sure some other people. But listen, I can't eat this whole thing. It has 1,140 calories in this entire container.
You don't need to eat it in one sitting, Hudson.
Even how much can I space that out to where it wouldn't totally derail my health goals for this year?
I mean, you would probably have to eat like a tiny, tiny bit each day.
Yeah, like literally what I just ate now was
Like
probably
one
too much.
little scoop.
One spoonful was too much. But it's like, what would you compare it to? Because if you were blindfolded and you tasted that, what would you be saying?
What would I be saying? It's got the spice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It definitely, I don't think of chili specifically.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I would compare it to, but it definitely doesn't feel like anything I've tasted before. It's not bad, but it doesn't feel like anything I've tasted.
Anybody who's never had Cincinnati chili or hasn't had it recently enough to have it like kind of in their mind of what it tastes like would not think this is chili at all.
Right.
Because this doesn't taste like any other kind of chili. It almost has, like, would you say the first thing that popped into my head was almost like gingerbread?
Yeah.
Except that it's like if you made gingerbread ice cream and then put crackers in it for some reason.
Gingerbread or like pumpkin bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like they found a way to rejigger the pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
And make it so, and just give it a different branding.
Yep.
And make it interesting because we're all tired of pumpkin spice at this point. It's venturing near pumpkin spice territory.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's a good analogy for what it tasted like to me. I don't think I would eat this outside of a food fight. It's not something I would particularly want, but I'm not. I guess I'm not shocked by the fact that it's not bad, but yeah, I don't think it's horrible.
You know, the only thing left to do now
What?
is to put it on a hot dog and also put it on spaghetti and maybe Fritos.
You can do that, Hudson.
I think that's the next logical step.
I'll leave that for you.
And I actually think that could actually work very well.
Okay.
I think it could be that could be a tasty combo. Particularly you dip Fritos in this, wouldn't that work?
I mean, I've dipped fries in ice cream before, so I'm not going to lie. I have done similar things.
We need to add some cheese to the top. Keep the onions away, though. I don't rock like that. Allie, you have pretty nice skin, would you say?
Sure.
Am I allowed to compliment that?
Okay.
What's your secret? Do you have any secrets, any unorthodox things you do?
I don't think I do anything unorthodox. I mean, I do I have like a small skincare routine.
Okay.
You know, I try and wash my face every night. I definitely try and do face masks every once in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe like 2 or 3 times a week. And then
I've got a nice face mask at home.
Okay.
I might put that on later.
Okay. Yeah, you should.
It looks like Michael Myers, but
it's good for your skin though.
Yeah, I'm sure that is.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I have a little routine. So, and I have gotten compliments before. So thank you for noticing.
Yeah. So you've never done the banana peel method?
I don't know what that is. So no.
The banana peel method, some are claiming it works like natural Botox.
Oh boy.
It's where you take a banana peel, the inside, of course, and rub it. So you eat the banana, I suppose, and then you take the peel and rub the innard of the banana peel all over your face. It's supposed to soothe your skin, brighten and tighten your skin as well. That is the claim that has been going around on TikTok. However, experts are coming along to say, no, that it's all in your mind. That doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I would think so. I don't think there's any way for like a natural Botox, because Botox literally like freezes your I don't even know what you want to call it, like if you want to call it wrinkles, veins. I'm not entirely sure how it all works, but it stops natural motion from happening on your face. And so I don't know if there is a natural way to do that because it's not natural.
That's very unnatural. So the theory is that the banana skin contains something called lutein, which is an antioxidant that can help brighten the skin and reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. However, according to Dr. Dave Riley, who is a head scientist at skincare company Absolute Collagen, he says that while it may be true that it contains that antioxidant, it will not be absorbed directly through application to the skin in this way, in a sense that it would make enough difference.
Yeah.
So you'd have to rub, I guess, you'd have to constantly have a banana peel on your face, possibly, to have even a hope of this doing anything for you.
Yeah, this just sounds like one of those dumb new trends on TikTok, social media, whatever. That's like, try this thing. And like we talked not too long about like the navel pulling.
Yeah.
Or, all of the different ones that they come up with. And it's also funny to me, the people that are showing you these trends. It's like, girl, you already have a very nice firm face.
Yeah.
You're like 22 years old and you're rubbing this banana on your face.
How do you think she got that way? From rubbing bananas on her face.
She's 22, Hudson. No.
I think, do you think the people that come up with these trends that really don't make a lot of sense, do you think that they're like doing their research and like, well, lutein, that's it. And like think they're really onto something? Or do they just did she just like see a banana peel lying around? She's like, I bet you I can get people to rub this on their face. I'll make something up. It'll work. I look good. And so if I rub a banana peel, people will think that's my key.
I kind of hope that's what it is. I really hope people aren't stupid enough to think that this actually works. And I hope it's more people just trying to troll someone.
That would be, yeah.
That's
funny.
almost better, right?
Yeah. Popular streamer on YouTube and Twitch, Cenat. He's so big, he's in a T-Mobile commercial with Snoop Dogg. He is facing some backlash after he recently did a live stream where he has a $70,000 humanoid robot. Like it's the shape of a person, right? Mm-hmm. It can walk and everything. And he and two of his friends in the stream are seen kicking and bullying the robot. And then eventually Kai grabs it from like the back of the neck and like throws it to the ground. He is facing some backlash. People are saying that this is a wrong thing to do. So I am I'm going to open up here the RadioU hotline. Is it wrong to beat up a robot?
Do you want my opinion right now?
Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so there's a video that's been posted from this stream, and I gotta be honest, I hate it. It actually makes me sad watching it.
Why?
And there's nothing in me that says this robot, this AI is feeling any emotion or, experiencing any real trauma. There's nothing. I'm not delusional. But to me, it's just sad that people would find entertainment from doing something like this. Because my worry is not that the robot is getting hurt.
Yeah.
But my worry is that you are streaming to a very young audience that is now seeing you act in this way. That's a bullying way and putting something down that's smaller than you. This AI robot thing is actually quite childlike as far as size goes.
It does. It's shorter than them. It kind of, because it's a robot too, it moves in a way that's kind of like childlike or even almost like chimpanzee-like in a way.
Sure. I would say it's more humanoid than chimpanzee. So I would say it moves more like a child would. But it hurts my heart a little bit more for the potential ramifications of it hurting people down the line, because as of right now, this is a robot. You don't need to be worried about the robot's feelings getting hurt or actually getting hurt, even though it does look like this does cause a malfunction with the robot at one point where the robot doesn't know how to react, and so it just turns off. Because it's like, what's going on?
It's not programmed.
No, it's not programmed to be kicked and pushed. And so I think, they're abusing the technology, not necessarily abusing a being, but I'm more worried for that to be a potential problem down the line. And also, it's just like, why do you find your entertainment from this, by being mean? That's not very fun in my opinion.
8772 RadioU. You've heard Allie's argument for why it's wrong to beat up a robot. What say you? Is it wrong or not? 8772 RadioU. So you may be able to gather my feelings on this. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it whatsoever. But it's possible that I may be in the minority here because Jeff says, I say it's not wrong, but it shows your poor character and maybe don't post you and your idiot friends being stupid. He also said, I'm pretty sure that's how the AI revolution starts.
Good point.
No, this is how we keep the AI revolution down.
No. don't know.
Regina says that Allie said it well, where you said that people could be watching, like kids could be watching, right? And they could think that because beating up a robot is okay, that beating up a person is okay.
Well, because they don't have a $70,000 robot.
So they have to beat up a person.
Exactly. Or
that's
something
the
else.
only option if they want to be like Kai Cenat. She also said it's wasteful considering how much our country is in financial ruin. It is possibly worth pointing out that Mr. Beast, at least, does a lot of philanthropic things with his vast fortune that he's earned. And meanwhile, and I mean, he wastes some of it too, but Kai Cenat's using it on a $70,000 robot that he can beat up. Tim says, no, it's not wrong because we let kids watch superhero movies and cartoons, which, while I may disagree with your reasoning, may be backwards, Tim, I'm with you in the idea that there are things like beating up a robot that aren't wrong in and of themselves. It's about if you're worried about a child being impressionable and seeing that and going, well, I can do that to a person too. That's more on the parents. Like if they could watch Captain America beat up somebody and not make the distinction that it's okay to beat up a bad guy when you're a superhero and not it's okay to beat somebody up at school.
Yeah.
That's just another person.
Right.
Then that's about you, like as parents and whatever, like being in charge of what your kids are seeing. I don't think it's Kai Cenat's business to be worried. Like, this is so... It's not his job to be worried if there's some kids that can't make that distinction. It's like superhero movies or video games.
For sure. I don't think you could blame Kai if someone, cites this video as the reason why they went out and did something horrible. But I also don't think you can't say you need to be more responsible as an adult with the platform that you have. And I think it's irresponsible to go out and show this, this video and create this type of content. I just think it's dumb also. Like, again, we shouldn't confuse ourselves by thinking that robots have feelings.
Right.
I'm not trying to conflate that, but I also don't think you can deny that these people are having delight in putting down something that is defenseless and has no way to defend itself.
But that's,
and that's
not the same as beating up an animal that's defenseless or a human that's defenseless.
But I'm worried about it getting to that point. Like, this is like the first stage of it. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's fair to say. Now, I do think some people point out that if this is the kind of thing you routinely do, that it could be a sign of,
right, that's what
like
I'm
when
about.
Serial killer children are picking apart animals or whatever.
Right.
But I think it's also very irresponsible to say based on this one video alone that you can't diagnose somebody on that. No. So I don't think that it's fair to question, but not like it's not reasonable to speculate in that way.
Right.
So I think it's drawing we're getting out our jump to conclusions, Matt, and saying some kid is going to beat up another kid because they saw Kai Cenat beating up a robot, which is an entirely different thing. Or because he streams video games too. People stream video games where they do things you can't do in real life that wouldn't be okay to do to a person because it's a game. And because you're of a reasonable age, you can do that, and that's your choice.
I'm more worried about Kai than I am the children, in all honesty. I'm like, what's going on in your brain for you to be like, yep, I just bought a $70,000 robot, and you know what I want to do first? I want to kick it down the stairs.
When you got that kind of money, honestly, that's probably what I would do with a robot.
What? That's so dumb.
Well, Caitlin Clark may be big enough to say no to the NBA three-point competition, but Angel Reese is so big that she gets her own collaboration with McDonald's.
You just had to start it that way, didn't you?
Coming up February 10th, Angel Reese will be the first, listen to this, she's the first athlete to have a meal collaboration with McDonald's since, would you like to guess?
First athlete? Oh, I don't remember the last athlete. There's been plenty of stars, Post Malone and all the rest.
Maybe you've heard of a little someone named Michael Jordan.
Really?
Michael Jordan was the last athlete. He had I didn't even know this, the McJordan meal.
When?
At McDonald's, 1992.
Okay, so it has been a minute.
It's been, yeah. So yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't be aware of that.
Nope.
And likewise until now. But now Angel Reese becomes the first athlete since 1992, since the great one himself, Michael Jordan, to get her own meal at McDonald's. She's got what is appropriately called the Angel Reese Special, which includes a quarter pound of cheese, fries, and a choice of drink, plus a brand new barbecue sauce.
Oh.
They call it the Bold barbecue sauce. It's reportedly smoky, inspired by Reese, who smokes the competition. So this is coming to McDonald's in February. Well, this is February. So in about a week from today, you'll be able to grab this collab, the Angel Reese special.
That's so cool. I don't know, because obviously the meal is just a meal that they put together. So it's, for the most part, the same food that you would get normally. But to me, my favorite part is the branding. The paper bag that they have for this and like the logo that's on the bag and then also on the cup.
Yeah.
I absolutely am obsessed with. I love the logo. I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I always feel like I feel so let
Should
down.
we describe it?
Well, I guess it looks like it's got like it says
got
the
a
Angel
halo.
Reese special.
Yeah.
But it's got a halo and then like stars all around the bag.
And then Angel Reese's name is bigger and it's
Yeah.
in pink. And I love pink, so I'm here for the hot pink.
It's cool. What I'm concerned is that you will go to McDonald's and this is just art to promote it, and that's not actually the
you're not
bag or
actually gonna
cup you
get
would
it.
get. Because I feel like that McDonald's has a big problem with doing that with other collaborations.
Yeah, I mean, when they did the bags that were like the manga bags, that was pretty cool. So I think they might end up having these bags, but they might just give them to everybody instead of only if you order the Angel Reese special,
Which would still be nice.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool that she's got her own meal. I think this is a cool, I wish I would get a meal at McDonald's too.
Yeah.
I would love, that's just a huge honor to me. And so I like that she has this as not just because it's a cool thing, but like bragging rights. And it sounds like it'd be tasty and we get a new sauce at McDonald's. So what's not to like?
I mean, I love it. And also, I feel like I was shocked to see this. Obviously, they haven't had the athlete one since 1992, but they haven't had a collaboration with a bigger, personality since Travis Scott. And that was back in 2020.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking they had done it, before.
Yeah.
In more recent times.
I would have thought so too.
So I'm surprised it's been so long since they've done one of these again. But yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Now, if Caitlin Clark had a fast food meal at one fast food location, which one would it be?
Ooh, I feel like since McDonald's has already been taken, maybe Wendy's would be a good counteractive one. But I could also see like maybe Taco Bell.
Oh, see, I was thinking Culver's. She's got Culver's written all over her.
Culver's isn't big enough.
So Midwestern. Culver's is it.
No, Wendy's.
The Caitlin Clark meal at Culver's coming soon. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.